Hello, this is Clemmy Games and welcome to a first look at Unexplored, a top-down roguelite developed by Ludomotion and released out of Steam Early Access in February 2017. For disclosure, I received this game for free. At this point in time, you might be thinking, yet another roguelite? Well, I'm here to report that Unexplored does tweak the formula to an extent which makes it worth a play. The basic setup here is that you have to descend the Dungeons of Doom to retrieve the Amulet of Yendor, a rather simple premise which gets you into the game. Firstly, to get the basics out of the way, yes, we do have permadeath, and yes, the levels are procedurally generated. However, one of the key standout features is the combat. Unlike other famous roguelites such as The Binding of Isaac, Nuclear Throne, or Enter the Gungeon, the interesting distinction of Unexplored is that for the most part, the focus is on melee combat, which I found to be rather refreshing. Firstly, your weapon does stick out in front or to the side of you, and pointed weapons such as swords or spears can damage enemies if you simply walk into them. Swinging your sword or thrusting your spear does do more damage, but it can leave you open to counterattacks. Once used, your weapon does become greyed out for a short period of time, meaning that the fights do become tense little affairs of offense and defense. There's also quite a nice variety of weapons here, such as axes or shovels which you can swing, daggers which are throwable, bows and arrows, and even magic staves which can fire projectiles. I enjoyed the flow of the combat here, which differs from the usual circle strafe and fire type strategies typically seen in other roguelites. On top of this, Unexplored even features crafting, which can add elemental properties to your weapon. One example which I stumbled upon was combining my spear with an earth rune, giving it a stunning property, giving a chance to stun enemies on hit. Equipment is also a key feature here, as the game does have a more traditional action RPG type inventory system, allowing you to equip armor, a cape, a helmet, 2 rings, and a necklace. Interestingly, some of the armor slots are interchangeable as well, such as allowing you to equip both light and heavy armor at the same time. Here, if I am recalling correctly, the light armor that I had gave a 100% chance to block 2 damage, while the heavy armor gave a 50% chance to block 5 damage, which was an interesting risk-reward scenario until some point in time where the game helpfully hinted at me that both could be worn at the same time. Of course, crafting can be applied to armor as well, and there are even enchantment scrolls which you can use to enhance your equipment. Really fantastic and robust equipment system here, which made every run feel unique due to the possible equipment loadouts that you could stumble upon. Next, I have to mention the potions and scrolls in this game, which have unknown effects until you use them, in line with traditional turn-based roguelites. This was a touch which I really appreciated, and it is always fun to have items with unknown effects in your inventory. Of note here are the Potion of Strength and the Potion of Life, since Strength is a stat which affects weapon damage and the type of equipment that you can use, while the Potion of Life does increase your max HP by 6, and also bringing you back to full health when used, making it essential in this game. Great enemy variety here, although the common enemies such as spiders are not all that exciting to fight, but the game does throw curveballs at you with the mini-boss and boss fights. What I like about the permanence in this game is that while gold does carry over from run to run, allowing you to purchase more items at the start of your next run, there is some progression linked to the in-game achievements as well, which is also nicely summarized at the end of your run. For example, reaching the 2nd level of the dungeon allows you to purchase extra rations, and drinking a potion with an unknown effect unlocks the Daredevil achievement, and with it allows you to purchase unidentified potions at the start of the run as well. Also of note is the way that levels are generated. The tech behind this procedural generation is pretty interesting, featuring something called cyclical dungeon generation, where I shall link a video that the developers made explaining this tech in the description box below. The result is interesting, non-generic dungeon layouts, which is atypical of the copy-paste type generation seen in other games, which is a welcomed change. However, the result of this cyclical design is that I did find myself moving in circles from time to time, trying to figure out where to go next. This issue is not helped by the presence of puzzles in this game, which, while interesting and satisfying to solve in their own right, could mean that you will find yourself getting stuck, as I think that it is possible that part of the solution to a puzzle could be found on another level. Regarding the difficulty, I thought that this game was on the easy side since there are plenty of health potions which are automatically used when you fall below a certain health level. The previously mentioned Potion of Life does also help tremendously in ensuring your survival. However, do take this with a grain of salt, as since I have not gotten super deep into this game and simply played it on the challenging difficulty, which is the default. Regardless, Unexplored is a solid entry into the roguelike genre due to its combat and dungeon generation tech. I really enjoyed my time with this game and do think that it does do things differently enough from other roguelites. If what you have seen thus far does interest you, do definitely give this a shot. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.